Tonight we're going to talk about Freemasonry. These slides aren't in any particular order. This should be in the Masonic Hollywood category, where it's from that movie. Damn, my cord's in the way. It's from that movie. The movie with Tom Cruise, where he Eyes Wide Shut. I'm sure you're all familiar with it. Here's a Pigpen cipher. Let's see where this is T H E B O C O Y B O Y. Oh, I see. Yeah, it already says what the cipher is. This is trestle board. There's many trestle boards at the lodges, typically 3 or 4. Well, typically 3, but the ancient lodges weren't all so organized, whereas they didn't really gain organization until Captain Morgan wrote the book about trying to expose Freemasonry, and then they all used it in a way to. It's funny because I read that Masonic book, not a anti-Masonic one, but they used it to, have everybody do the same processions and so on. But you'll notice that the oldest one has a square at the top. And, well, I guess it probably doesn't really make a difference. The symbolism is, it's both the same, but you'll see the skull and crossbones, which, people say is for Golgotha. But it's also, just a typical symbol of death. But you'll notice the head of the initiates pointed to the west, just like the old Native American tribe stuff, where the chief would be buried with his head to the west, or the braves would have their head to the west, because they were practicing the same thing, but just different. It was a different names to the system. I forget what lodge this is. This is just a clip from the Encyclopedia of Freemasonry about the superior, the unknown superiors, and the definitions, where you can see superiores incogniti, the Royal Society of Societas Jesus, Society of Jesus, or the Jesuits. I think that's Roosevelt or Truman, one of the two. Look at his beady eyes. But you'll see the typical Masonic regalia. This is from Ineffable Degrees, Master Elect of the Nine. And you'll see the head, let's see, the candidate removes the bandage, blah blah. He's astonished to see a human head lying on the floor and a bloody knife or pioneered beside it. The master of ceremonies returns and directs the candidate to take the tip of the knife in the right hand, the head in his left. Candidate takes them under the blah blah, but you see where it's going with it. But it's some of the older degrees would talk about Medusa, the head of Medusa, in that. This is a different degree, I'm assuming, and they're also wild and crazy. This is the Masons celebrating on the millennium change in the year 2000, and it's weird because the only people I've ever heard even mention this or know what it was this dude Freeman Fly, and then this other dude Robert Hieronymus, who was a radio show host that I had talked to about the founding fathers and so on. You'll see it says Ordo ab Chao des Mimp Jus, which damn it, I forget what that means. God is just or something. But even the 33 is the 33rd degree isn't past the veil, and that the system that was reestablished was not even like I think it was Gerald Massey or Mackey that said Scottish Rite is not the Blue Lodge. It's not Freemasonry. That it's Illuminism. Okay, I think this is Truman right here. But you'll see his pirate hat and apron, and he was probably it's hard to say if these people even know what they're doing, if they understand that it's, that they're, because they really did get rid of the 13th Amendment because of the original one, because of it said they couldn't have titles of nobility from foreign nations, and that these are all basically foreign nations with titles of nobility: Scottish Rite, Templar, Royal Arch, Blue Lodge. I can't think of that. B'nai B'rith, Knights of the. Damn it, I can't remember all the names. Stella Matutina, Double Square. I should have put all the HD pictures in the front. Oh, this is just a funny know-nothingism. As we are about to consider a gloomy question, we have a fancy to open the dark lantern of antiquity and throw a ray or two into the lodge before we cross the threshold. Hearken unto the ancient gentleman. We know nothing, for truth lies hid from us in the depths of the distance. The hills. Nothing is wiser than ignorance. The beginning of science is the science of nescience. Here's an old Ordo ab Chao plaque. The Maltese cross and the it's interesting because it got the pyramids on the corners. It's got the Rosicrucian things, symbols. There's that 13 stars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. 10 stars. This is just what they give to all the 33rd degrees or whatever. Yeah. The last degree. I think this is. I don't remember whose apron this is. I think it's Ben. Or George Washington's apron, maybe. But I mean, he didn't frequent the lodge for quite some time, according to the letters between him and G.W. Snyder. There's this should be in the celebrity Masonic Hollywood section because it's Jay-Z in the Masonic Lodge. That's just the typical. I'm assuming this is that's the west or the east. I mean, and then the door would be in the west. And then so there isn't a candle at the north. These are like offset. I'm not sure if there shouldn't be a light in the north according to I can't remember the whole shebang about it. But yeah, see, this is B'nai B'rith. It's the Jewish version of Freemasonry. It's still Freemasonry, but it's just they all use the same symbols of, Old Testament stuff. The goat of Mendes on the right, the Order of the Eastern Star on the left. This is one of the original drawings of the of DC. You'll see the geometry of stars, and it's pretty interesting. I think they were trying to make the city perfect. I don't really think it was about superstitions or anything, but they just wanted to make it like the godheads or whatnot. I mean, technically, I should rotate that. Blah, blah, blah. This is a grave of there it says Franz Lufin. But I mean, the point of the grave is that you can see the Eastern Star and the serpent. I never thought about this, but I wonder how many points of light are coming off it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Plus 5 more. 30. Wait, 25. 6, 2, 3. Yeah. Usually there's 32 points coming off from solar images, or like how the birds and the phoenix or the Egyptian symbols have 32 feathers in the wing. The grand sign of distress. It's like an old Egyptian relief on the right. That's some kind of Aztec thing. I think this was, I forget whose desk this was. This is some lodge in Philly, I think. But you can see the guy with his hand to his mouth. Many of the hand signs are, one of them is Gibbalum, or that's one of the passwords, and Gibbalum, and you like put your thumb on your lip, over your lip, kind of like the finger one over your lip, but then you hold your fist in like a clenched fist with your thumb up. It's the whole thing goes back to ancient times. But see there's always like a high like a, damn it, I can't think of the word. Like a pecking order in the lodge. This is it's something that the Hebrew religion uses too, but it's like a scroll at the door. And certain lodges have these I forget the word, mezuzahs. And the fact that these are on the lodge doors, see it says that it's for the door of the temple, the synagogues. They affix them to the synagogues and not to private houses. Because the synagogue is a tabernacle. Shaddai Almighty is written. Yeah, see, nailed to the right hand of the doorpost, while the following prayers said, "Blessed art thou, O Lord, King of the universe, who hath sacrificed us with his laws, commanded us to fix the mezuzah." But oh damn it! All of these will be in order sometime. This is interesting because it's an old cartoon. But he was Mighty Max M.M., like Master Mason, and he was accompanied by an owl named Virgil. This is just a weird picture, I think. I mean, considering they're all like Kabbalists and shit, this seemed like it was what do they call that? Where they introduce ideas, like how currently the Islams are fighting the Jewish people in Israel. I forget what this movie's from, what movie that's from. This is I'm pretty sure this is the House of the Temple, showing Menes, Moses, and Hammurabi, the three great lawgivers. There's the 33rd degree emblem, Des Mumpjus. Probably should have looked that up, but I'm sure if you count the feathers on the wing, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 19. I don't think this is following the 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 19 and 19. That's 38 plus 38. That'd be 76. Yeah, that isn't This is from a grave, but you can see the pig pen writing on the top. I've been meaning to translate that, but I keep forgetting. There's like an old king in a masonic chair. He's got that lion in his feet. This is just a nice engraving in a book. This is a quote from mainly P. Hall. Seething energy is loose for in his hands. Before he may step onward and upward, he must prove his ability to properly apply his energy. Talking about this Lucifer force. The day has come when the fellow craftsmen must know and apply their knowledge. The lost key to their grade is the mastery of emotion, which places the energy of the universe at their disposal. See, and you'll notice that he's talking about the get your goat thing, where they purposely will insult you to piss you off type of thing. Same type of ideology goes on in Scientology, where they in Scientology they'll piss people off and have them hooked to the meter. Man can only expect to be entrusted with great power by proving his ability to use it constructively and selflessly. See, the emotion thing is important because the Illuminati uses people's emotions to have the masses do their bidding. And that's why people who are emotionally invested in politics or the news, excuse me, they're tools of the elite, and that they're helping the great work. When the Mason learns that the key to the warrior on the block is the proper application of the dynamo of living power, he has learned the mystery of his craft. And you see it's hard to explain, but it's like mainly P. Hall was, from my understanding, he was a Mason who was gifted a Masonic degree, and that he wasn't initiated. I'm pretty sure Cooper said that, or Jordan Maxwell. And Jordan Maxwell would know because he lived with him or whatever. He was his student, protege. I think that he taught Jordan Maxwell, and that since mainly P. Hall was a member, he couldn't say anything because he already swore his allegiance. So he taught Jordan. Jordan spoke on his behalf, I think, in a way. And that's why Jordan makes that, documentary Dawn of a New Day. Because I think that, that was I think that's one of Jordan Maxwell's greatest works. The Dawn of a New Day. It exposes the communist world government, the symbols of them, and so on. He must follow in the footsteps. Oh shit, I hope that wasn't that was just a bass boost. He must follow in his footsteps of his forefather Tubal Cain, who is who I'm pretty sure one of the grandsons of Cain, from Cain and Abel. But in the symbols, the oldest symbol I've traced of Tubal Cain goes to a symbol that looks like an Egyptian hieroglyph, which is, it looks like an H, but the vertical lines are serpents pointing up, and that the circle, and that the other part is a circle instead of a crossbar. So it's like a circle with two vertical lines on each side, or one vertical line on each side. I've got a slide of it somewhere. The mighty strength of the war god hammered his sword into plowshares. Talking about Jupiter and that's why the communists use the symbol of the hammer and the sickle. Incessant vigilance over thought, action, and desire is indispensable to those who wish to make progress in unfolding their own being. The fellow craft's degree is the degree of transmutation. The hand that slays must lift the fallen, while the lips given to cursing must be taught to pray. The heart that hates and blah 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 blah. See this whole flaming powers of emotion with an iron grip, and the realization and application of these principles lies in the keys of fellow craft. This it's also complex to explain, because if you read the page before and the page after, it brings it into perspective a little bit. But keep in mind, he's talking about the esoteric, and where it's saying where is it? Following the footsteps of Tubal Cain. It's talking about the Brotherhood of Fire and the one half of the molten sea. The molten sea Melchizedek, and the transmutation of I'm pretty sure that's a reference to the white stone moving from Scorpio to Aries symbolically in the Masonic religion. I mean, it dates, part of it dates back to Rosicrucians and see, this is an old newspaper. The secret signs, or the handshakes, first, second, third, and then the fourth is the Spock handshake. Well, the fourth Blue Lodge handshake. It's talking about this. What's this police detective says? Where does he say it? The Masonic men about town just feared our stalker in a vicious witch hunt to smear the deputy chief constable. But it was like they were harassing the constable. Damn it! This joint won't stay lit. Let's see here. It's this is Masonic. The degrees on the left side, you'll see the Red Lodge, the Mark Master, Past Master, Most Excellent, Rel Archmaster. Then it goes to the Templar, the Templar part. So it's 4 plus 3, so 7. But there's 3 in just the Templar part. The York. I don't know, that it's debatable, but see the where's it at? The Knights Kadash. I'm not sure if that's related to the Kadesh, where the priests were where they were damn, what's that word? Where they were turned into eunuchs. Night of the Sun. Where's the 25th? Yeah, Night of the Brazen Serpent. That's the Ankh. It's got like an Ankh shaped thing. The Knights Grand Sky. Where's the I think it's the 15th. No. One of the degrees is the something priest or something. Brazen Serpents. Sublime Prince of the Royal Secret. I can't remember if this is from my book. No, 1931. Mine's from 1956 or something. See, here's the illustrations of the Saturn with the Virgo. Or, I'm pretty sure it's the Virgo. And then she's holding a branch. Like an acacia branch for the grave. Just like on the initiate thing. The symbol of the initiate. Where it's got the damn it, where's the fucking thing at? Way back there with the let's see, the trestle board. Yeah, see. Uh, the branch. The branch. The acacia branch. In the ancient world, they would always bury graves with the acacia tree planted above it. It's like a symbol of the. Damn, I think it goes back to shamanic times. That's Obama's ring with masonic ring. Each of the pagan gods, says Warburton, had besides the public and open a secret worship paid to him, to which none were admitted but those who had been selected by preparatory ceremonies called initiation. This secret worship was termed the Mysteries. And this is supported by Strabo, who says that it was common both to the Greeks and the barbarians to perform their religious ceremonies with the observance of a festival, that they are sometimes celebrated publicly and sometimes in mysterious privacy. Thus defines them secret ceremonies which were practiced in honor of certain gods and whose secret was known to the initiates alone, who were admitted only after long and painful trials which was more than their life was worth to reveal. What was that, page 583? The Masonic Encyclopedia. Blah blah. The main rites, Isis and Osiris with the Osiric cycle. For although those Mithra came to Persia, see they have the Eleusinian, Dionysic, Adonisian, the Kabiric, Egyptian, Gothic, Druidic, all the ancient world religions that were destroyed by the Roman Empire, kind of like were collectively gathered up by ancient Freemasons, and that it was like they were trying to keep them in memory. In all these mysteries, we find a singular unity of design, clearly indicating a common origin, and a purity of doctrine is evidently proving that this common origin was not to be sought. For in a popular theology of the pagan world, the ceremonies of the initiation were all funereal in their character. They celebrated the death and resurrection of some cherished being, either the object of esteem as a hero or a devotion as a god. Subordination of the degrees was instituted, and the candidate was subjected to probations varying in their character and severity. The rites were practiced in the darkness of night, and often amid the gloom of the impenetrable forests of the subterranean caves, and the full fruition of knowledge for which so much labor was endured and so much danger incurred, this not attained until the aspirant, well tried and thoroughly purified, had reached the place of wisdom and light. These mysteries undoubtedly owed their origin to the desire to establish esoteric philosophy, in which should be withheld from the popular approach of these sublime truths, which it was supposed could only be entrusted in those who had been previously prepared for their reception. Whence these doctrines were originally derived, it would be impossible to say, but I am disposed to accept. Well, here is where I'm going to interject. Well, excuse me. The keystone of the Masons is made, countless, 3,000 BC or 4,000. They say they built the pyramids, but the keystone was at 23.5 degrees roughly, and that was because of the axis of the Earth, and that because it's the most stable point for a keystone on an arch. If you ask some kind of excuse me, if you ask some kind of engineer who isn't retarded, they'll explain the same thing about the angle of the arch and the angle of the keystone, and that it's the most stable angle for it to be. but I am disposed to accept Krusner's hypothesis of an ancient, highly instructed body of priests having their origin either in Egypt or in the East. They argue, if I'm interjecting, that it comes from the Druid area. Others argue it was Phoenician. I think each deity was like a different slang for each culture, and of some parts far across the world, the ancient stories were totally different symbols, but they still had really similar properties about the symbolic story. Like resurrection, or some sort of light in a box type of thing. Where's that? Having their origin either in Egypt or the East, from whom was derived religious, physical, and historical knowledge under the veil of symbols. See, that's how they would obtain the gnosis, through the symbols and the secret meanings. By this confinement of these doctrines to a system of secret knowledge guarded by the most rigid rites, could they only expect to reserve them from the superstitions, innovations, and corruptions of the world as it then existed? The distinguished few. Fidelity, uncontaminated by the contagion of the evil example, would soon be able to estimate the superior benefits of an isolated institution which have afforded the advantage of a select society and kept it at an unapproachable distance the profane scoffer, whose presence might pollute their pure devotion to social converse by contumelious language or unholy mirth. So I'm assuming that's people's misunderstanding of ancient stories and religions. And doubtless the prevention of this intrusion, and I might add that, example of this would be the collection plates at churches where, like William Cooper goes over the biblical verses that prove that it wasn't something that was to be passed on to modern times, and that it was a toll for the people of that time, and that it in no way is, like a present thing. Damn, where's that? The original object of the institute. Wait, here it is. And the doubtless the preservation of this intrusion and the preservation of these sublime truths was the original object of the institution of ceremonies of initiation, and the adoption of other means by which the initiated could be recognized and the uninitiated excluded. Such was the opinion of Warburton, who says that... Damn it, this inhaler sucks. The mysteries were at first the retreats of sense and virtue till time corrupted them in most of the gods. See, even the Masonic scholars agree that the stories were corrupted, and that they were perverted over time. Even the modern Freemasonry is an extreme perversion of whatever it originally was. Damn it, usually they click twice really fast. Okay, that's better. Don't you dare comment. Mysteries, blah blah. Learn the work on a subject entitled Recharga sur les initiations anciennes et modernes. See, that's all the best occult books are in French, because that's where a lot of the Templars were. Places the origin of these initiations at that remote period when crime first began to appear upon the earth. The vicious, he remarks, were urged by the terror of guilt to seek among the virtuous for intercessors with the deity, the latter retiring into solitude to avoid the contagion of growing corruption, devoted themselves to a life of contemplation and the cultivation of several of these of the useful sciences, the periodical return of the seasons, the revolution of the stars, the productions of the earth, and the various phenomena of nature, studied with attention, rendered them useful guides to men, both in their pursuits of industry and in their social duties. These recluse students invented certain signs to recall to the remembrance of the people of the times of their festivals and of their rural labors, and hence the origin of the symbols and hieroglyphs that were in use among the priests of all nations. Having now become guides and leaders of the people, these sages, in order to select as associates of their learned labors and sacred functions only such as had sufficient merit and capacity, appointed strict courses of trial and examination, and this, our author thinks, must have been quite the, the source of the initiations of antiquity. Damn it, I didn't even like sink that in. I've read this like a million times. The Magi, Brahmins, Gymnosophists, Druids, and priests of Egypt lived thus in sequestered habitations in subterranean caves, and obtained great reputation by their discoveries in astronomy, chemistry, mechanics, and purity of morals. Oh god, it's so much to read. And by their knowledge of the science of legislation. It was in these schools, says Miss M. Robin, that the first sages and legislators of antiquity were formed, and in them he supposed was the doctrines taught to have been the unity of God and the immortality of the soul. And it was from these mysteries and their symbols and hieroglyphics that the exuberant fancy of the Greeks drew much of their mythology. Warburton deduces from the ancient writers, from Cicero to Porphyry, from Origen and Celsus, and from others, what was the true object of the mysteries. They taught the dogma of the unity of God in opposition to the polytheistic notions of the people, and in connection with this, the doctrine of the future life, and that the initiated should be happier in that state than all other mortals. That while the souls of the profane, at their leaving of the body, stuck fast in the mere mire and filth, and remained in the darkness, the souls of the initiated wing their flight. This seems like it's somebody's ego tripping. Directly the happy islands, the habitations of the gods, thrice happy they. See, the real initiates didn't believe in the gods, plural. I'm sure they simply believed in one God, who descended to the shades below after having beheld these rites. For they alone have life in Hades. That's interesting because in the biblical terms, Jesus has the keys to Hades. That's the Greek term used, which could be related to. He could actually be what is it, like Harpaco? No, damn it, I can't think of the name. I think it starts with an S or an H. Either way, the I got a picture of it here somewhere. And Isocrates declares that those who have been initiated in the mysteries entertain better hopes than both as to the end of life and the whole of futurity. Others of the ancient, see, in the Native American thing, it's like their secret societies weren't secret because everybody was a member, and so, but this whole like greediness of the, it's like leave it to mankind, turn everything into greed. Like, oh, we're pure people, but we're gonna use greed with our purity system, and this is all just kind of mumbo jumbo. Where the earlier part was legit, but others of the ancients have given us the same testimony as their esoteric character. The part about it coming all from an ancient one's religion or something is that part is legit because I've been studying that shit for like fucking over a decade. All the mysteries, says Plutarch, refer to the future life and the state of the soul after death. In another place, addressing his wife, he says, "We have been instructed in the religious rites of Dionysus that the soul is immortal, and that there is a future state of existence." Cicero tells us that in the mysteries of Sirius and Lucius, the initiated were taught to live happily and die in hope of blessed future. Blah, blah, blah. Where's the good shit? These sentiments so different from the debased polytheism which prevailed among the uninitiated are the most certain evident that these mysteries arose from the pure source. See, it's like the initiates were given these mystery stories which didn't have an answer, and that they were told all the profane gods were planets and stars and shit, and that the people were worshiping misunderstanding because they were like stupid, and that they did believe in a real god, but like their stories were so like ciphered and symbolism where one story could mean several different things, and depending on which version of the story you got. And that's why the comparative religion aspect of it is so important, because the you can see the certain stories that have the same narrative, or the same variables. Um, let's see, into the mischief. They're talking about Noah, blah blah. Hades, their conclusion. The whole was a drama, the prelude to which consisted purification, sacrifices, and injunctions with regard to the behavior of the observed. See, it's like they believed in this, not the story itself, but that the story was like a gnosis, and that the initiate would come to this conclusion about the story from seeing it or experiencing it, and that it was supposed to bring on this purified state, the whole lead to gold thing, where it wasn't actually about metal, it was about people having a supposed pure spirit. It's no different than the religious thing about them thinking they need to be baptized or whatnot. Damn it, I shouldn't smoke that joint. It's probably like my millionth joint today. Their appearance in the earth, relation. This is all getting a little bit boring. It's really that first part that is they indeed, he said, indeed exhibit to the initiated coarse physical symbols of the generative powers of nature and the force of the universal nature herself, eternally self-sustaining through all the transformations. But the religious element of these mysteries consisted in the relations of the universe to the soul, more especially after death. Thus, even without philosophic proof, we are justified in assuming the nature symbolism referring to the zodiac formed a mere framework for the doctrines relating to the. That's interesting. They talk about nature, because Pan is nature, and that the zodiac is always. I'm pretty sure it's inside of an Ouroboros sometimes, and that I'm gonna have to dig into that more. But damn it, there's still more. Talking about Dionysus, Lucian mysteries, redemption. The oath of secrecy was administered in the most solemn form of the initiate to the initiate, and to violate it was considered a sacrilegious crime, the prescribed punishment, which was immediate death, and we have the least one instance in Livy of the infliction of the penalty. The ancient writers were therefore extremely reluctant to approach the subject, and Lobeck gives in his Agliophamus several examples of the cautious manner of which they shrunk from divulging or discussing any explanation of the symbol which had been interpreted to them in the course of initiation, I would forbid that man who would divulge the secret rites of the mysterious Ceres from being under the same roof with me or from setting sail with me in the same precarious bark. On the subject of their relation to the rites of Freemasonry, to which they bear in many respects so remarkable to resemblance that some connection seems unnecessarily implied. There are 5 principal theories. The first is that the embraced taught by Dr. Ablett, namely that they are but deviations from the common source, both of them in Freemasonry patriarchal mode of worship established by God. Okay, so anyways, back to this where is it? This death thing. Yeah, there's so many death oaths. I'm gonna get to those too. There's some other pages that talk about the death oaths pertaining to the pagan world. Their interpretation was see, but the truth thus revealed by the divinity came at length to be doubted or rejected through the imperfection of human reason, and though the visible symbols were retained in the mysteries of the pagan world, their true interpretation was lost. So, like, certain stories would have things in the story which didn't make sense. Like, Horus was paralyzed from the waist up in one of the stories, and that the oldest interpretation will often be changed, and that's how they're diluting the ancient mystery by altering the story, because they'll think, oh, that doesn't make sense, this, but they don't understand it's a symbol in a story, and that it's not supposed to make sense because it's a symbol and it's a metaphor, sometimes for planets, sometimes for all sorts of weird stuff that, the second theory was leaving the origin of the mysteries to be sought. The patriarch, blah blah, finds connection between them and Freemasonry, commencing the building of King Solomon's temple. Over the construction of this building, which is a metaphor, I'm assuming, Hiram, the architect of Tyre, which is possibly a symbol of Mars, presided. At Tyre, the mysteries of Bacchus had been introduced by the Dionysian artificers. See, I was just going to mention Dionysius because it's like Bacchus was ball. It's a big... Damn it, my fucking voice. And into the fraternity of Hiram, in all probability it was necessarily suggested, been admitted Freemasonry, whose tenets had always existed in the purity among the immediate descendants of the patriarchs, added now to its doctrine the guard of secrecy, which, as Dr. Oliver himself remarks, was necessary to preserve them from perversion or pollution. The third theory has been advanced by the Abbe Robin, in which he connects Freemasonry indirectly with the mysteries. Through the intervention of the Crusaders in the work already cited, he attempts to deduce from the ancient initiations the orders of chivalry, whose branches, he says, produced the institution of Freemasonry. Jesus, another theory. The fourth theory is that it has been recently advanced by the Reverend Mr. King in his treatise on the Gnostics, is that some of them, especially those of the Mithras, were extended beyond the advent of Christianity, and even in the very commencement of this Middle Ages, they were seized upon by the secret societies of that period as a model for their organization, and that through these latter they were to be traced to Freemasonry. See, the Mithraites, recently I found the 7 degrees of classism, where that's what it seemed to really be about, the rites of Mithra, and that it wasn't, and I'm not talking about the degrees for initiates, I'm talking about the public divided into 7 categories, one step above another, and that the people were being gatekept from reaching the next step of, prosperity or, success in life. and I mean that's why it's like black people think that there's white privilege, but they don't understand there's poor white people too, and that it's masonic privilege or secret society privilege, and this Mithra uh, class system is evidence of a system that's used to discriminate against anyone who isn't a member of the secret society. And that goes in politics or big business, anywhere. Because if you're not a member, then you're nothing according to them, and I'm nothing too. So don't be offended. Let's see, truth theory. Oh, damn it, I better read this. Truth theory is that which would discard all successive links to the supposed chain of descent from the mysteries of Freemasonry and would attribute their close resemblance to the natural coincidence of human thought. The legend of the third degree and the legends of the Eleusinian, Kabiric and Dionysius and Adonic and all the other mysteries are identical in their object to teach the reality of the future life, and this lesson is taught in all by the use of the same symbolism and the substantially and some scenic representation, and this is not because the Masonic rites are lineal succession from the ancient mysteries. Finally, it's almost done. I'm gonna pause that though because the damn it, what the hell was I gonna say? The Freemason. Oh yeah, the Legend of the Third Degree. The 3 degrees, I believe. It's like the Rosicrucians say the degrees go back to a literal Christianity thing, and it's really complicated. But I have a depiction of like a vase or some shit that shows one of the degrees of Christ. Yeah, they can wait. They flourished too long after the Christian era. 4th century Christianity began to triumph. Yeah, it's just trying to rationalize what. Oh, here we go. But finally, Theodosius' general edict ordered the whole of the pagan mysteries be abolished in the 438th year of Christian era. That's interesting. 1800 years after the first establishment in Greece. Clavel, however, says, this is what I was, getting interested in, that they did not entirely cease until the era of restoration of learning, and that during the part of the Middle Ages, the mysteries of Diana under the name courses of Diana and those of Pan under that of the Sabbats were practiced in country area places. But these were really only certain superstitious rites connected with the relief and witchcraft, the mysteries of the Mithras, which continually attacked by the fathers of the church lived. But see, it's like the Pan worship was like the worship of the stars, pantheon. I think the last of the old mysteries, which had once exercised so much influence over the pagan world and the pagan religions. But yeah, you get my point about that. Here's an old meeting of the lodge. Yeah. Damn it, she keeps falling. Meeting of the lads. It's interesting they got the tabernacle in the corner, or the Ark of the Covenant in the corner. It looks like there's the this must be the east. Yeah, because the Master Mason's right there. Yeah, here's the Tyler of the Lodge with the sword. Then the immovable and movable objects, and see how it's got the it's like this whole thing is like a carpet on the floor, or just a big symbol of the altar. this is the Vatican Masons, the Jesuits. I'm pretty sure this is a Jesuit initiation. They all swear on death and so on. There's a Rosicrucian symbol on a mason ring. Damn it, hopefully I'm not going too long. I can't freaking upload some giant ass video. What time is it? Let's see. Damn it, that was a Shriner Lodge. There's a Masonic book about the they're doing some. It's like one of the degrees. It's all. Some of these aren't still practiced, but see, saying the password Shebeleth. Second password Heleniham, which is Aramaic. Shibboleth Heleniham. Third password Makarabak. Yeah, see here, there's Gibbelum, Mohabon, Adonai, grand word Jehovah, see, Yod He Vahe, Master's grip have been given to you, slip your hand above your wrist in the middle of your arm. See, it looks like there's blood right there. It's probably just wax though. Presses thrice. That's interesting. He puts his left hand on your shoulder and presses. That reminds you of the sign of admiration. 3 fingers. Reminds you of the Demolay thing where they tap on your arm 3 times. See the I need to translate this. Notice and caution. I wonder what it's saying. What is that? 1826. Yeah, see, this is crazy. The Masonic penalties. Duty and truly prepared. Knight of the Red Cross. He's hung. Just like, what's his name? Damn it. The Banker of God. Fuck. There's a Wayne Cooper episode about it. Joseph. No, what the hell is his name? Roberto Calvi. Here's a beheaded Knights Templar. Yeah, here's the book it was from. 1856, Ritual of Freemasonry Illustrated, numerous engravings, which has added a key to the Beta Kappa Orange and the Odd Fellows, which those are all just, it's all synonymous pretty much, just different symbols and so on. In hoc signa vinces, in this sign we conquer, I'm pretty sure is what it says. Let's see, first cause, illustrious sign. These are all just the contents. Let's see, this degree, the summer to perfection, blah blah. Erection of the second temple, concealed the Masonic eye, 470 years. Wait, what? Counts. Preservation of essentials and crafts which were brought to light in the erection of the second temple, which lay concealed from the Masonic eye 470 years. Oh, okay. Many particulars relative to those who blah blah blah. Justice and mercy. Those are 2 tarot cards, I'm pretty sure. It's interesting that they're italicized like that. The first officer is seated in the east. Gold trowel represents King Solomon. Second represents Hiram, King of Tyre. Third, yellow robes, trimmed blue, color his neck, blah blah. He represents Hiram Biff. Gold hammer. That's first triangular. Damn, this other page is fucked. Achishar. Drawn sword. Let's see. Damn it, you can't read hardly any of it. Sometimes they have Masonic books on eBay, and I'll go and steal the pictures of the pages. Because sometimes that's the only place you'll find them. I mean, some of the really good ones, like this one. I mean, this really isn't that great, but it's just interesting because I've never seen this one on any PDF or anything. Throne of... Wait, what did that say? Sword bear? Or, yeah, sword bear. See, there's some of the... I'm pretty sure these are older handshakes. I don't know if they're... they've changed. As the sun rises in the east. Same thing. Yeah, this something to the penalty of the obligation is also that something which is to have his right hand struck off. Third sign, extend the arm downwards at right angle. The last two fingers in the hand clenched. The first two and the thumb open, parallel to each other, about 1 inch apart. It alludes to the manner the candidate is directed to carry the keystone. Ah, interesting. Let's see. What does it say? Something to the left side of the neck. Heave over. That's just a ring. That's some shitty apron. Here's a really nice picture of a tracing board or a trestle board. They go by both names. The third lecture. See where the Ark of the Covenant, there's an X on it. X marks the spot. The acacia, the west. I'm gonna have to read that sometime. I forget where that's at. The seal of the K's. This is the house of the temple. I should probably take a break right now and where's it at? Damn it. There it is. Oh, 1 hour. Shit, yeah, I'm done with this one. Alright, I'll do part 2.